Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here today with more magic from my Glaminatrix. I've moved on to a new camera. I still have my other camera I was filming on before, so depending on how well this goes, I might use that for video and just this will be for photos. But I got a new camera and this will be my first proper video filming with it, so we'll see how we go. But today I will be playing with this beautiful part of this palette. For those who do not know, this is the Glaminatrix collection of eyeshadows that I have. So these three kind of rows all the way up to about here. So these 4 columns, 3 rows. That is the Nocturnal palette. These 4 columns, 3 rows is Good Old Glamorous, which unfortunately has been discontinued. Same with this palette. So I'm very happy to have these, and these are just other random singles, these two. And I do have some more shades from Glaminatrix on the way, which is kind of why I'm like, I need to do this video. Holographic multi-chrome shadows. So I got 2 of them because like, oh my god, what? For the Glamorous palette, get the packaging. So with the Nocturnal, I purchased it without packaging, was slightly cheaper, but this one they hadn't had that as an option at the time, and plus I just wanted to at least have one of the palettes with the packaging. So this is it. Has a nice long mirror, see all the shades, all the names, it's all magnetic, so I plan to be able to put shadows in this whenever I want to do a curated kind of look and build my own palette from what I already have from Glaminatrix. I will cut now and put on a base on my eyes, and then I'll get onto applying the makeup. So I'm back now. I end up just using a little bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer with these shades. I'm not sure what I want to go in with, because I have, for full disclosure, played with the purples, this one, that one, a little bit of the black, played with that shimmer, bit of that shimmer. So I know already how the palette works and it's pretty nice. I just want to do the same look on both eyes. I don't know if I want to do purple on the outer, green on the inner, or do green to purple with a more fluffy type brush. I'm going to be going in with this darker green shade. My apologies, I'm not going to be able to recall the names as quickly. Never mind, doesn't even have the name as a stick on the back. I can figure out what the shade name is and I'll just pop it up somewhere on the screen. So with this shade I'm just mostly going to focus that on the outer corners and kind of buff it out. Sometimes I like to almost do just a smoky type wing. Yeah, honky bonk. And I just love how simple and easy it is to do this kind of blending. Like, it's already pretty easily done what I wanted without needing to add much more. We're just going to ignore that side being not the best. It's whatever. This side will be the side I will care about anyways. Left eye preferential treatment. So I'm just going to go in with the same brush into this slightly lighter green. And I want to kind of build up with this lighter green. And look, they're beautiful. So I'll essentially marry the lighter purple with that shade. Kind of doing the same thing. And do it real nice and gently. Build up the shade. Definitely this one's getting a bit more out of control, but it's okay. And sorry if the microphone is a bit quiet. I was hoping I'd be able to use my previous mic from my old setup, but the port's a bit different on this camera, so I'll have to get different stuff for the microphone. So we might have to deal with different quality microphone for the time being. Also just going to use that same shade just on the under eye. And kind of wrap it around. Definitely such a beautiful palette. If you got this palette, please comment down below what you like to do in terms of with this palette, or if there's any colour stories that you have kind of built that you really like to use. Like for example, for me, I've really come enamoured with using darker purple with this one in particular, and then just that smeared all over the lid. Beautiful. You can just do such simple but very pretty looks with this. Start kind of dragging it out this way too, so just start matching up a little bit more. I do feel this one, of course, a bit better, but it's whatever. It's whatever. Just going to go back in with a mixture now of both the shades together, just to kind of build up this depth back in some areas. This will also be interesting to edit because this will be cut up into 10-minute little clips, because I'm filming in 4K, so it will be a bit higher resolution than I've worked with before. But apparently this camera only records in 10-minute intervals. That's going to be a fun limitation. Now, because I want to almost have like the darker purple packed along the waterline, upper waterline area, and have it go to the softer pink up here, I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to go in with this purple, which is honestly one of my now favourite purple shadows to use in my whole collection. So I'm just kind of like smudging and tapping into that inner corner area. And of course, it's going to start out at first a little bit lighter, and I'm also going to kind of smudge it on that lower inner corner area too, because I'll smoke it out to be the lighter pink down here. I don't want it to meet up here, so it'll be an interesting layering of colours. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm going to now do that on the other side. This is always the fun part. Trying to make sure you can get it to match up. Beautiful. I'm going to just layer on this purple with a really fluffy blending brush, and I'll just be pretty much just filling up that space, kind of gently buffering it along these outer edges, because I will also be slathering that in shimmery stuff too. Will kind of also make it opaque, I guess. Don't know if you guys follow on Instagram the pages of Glaminatrix, that they've been showing off some shades that are going to be or have been released as quad as well as single shadows too. But one of the shades was originally shown off to go in their newest palette, which is supposed to be coming out roughly in the next month or so. Excited for it. The shade ended up just being removed from the palette and replaced with something else apparently that suited the vibe more according to the brand, and they released it into this little quad. I'd probably, if anything else, get the one shade on its own, because I just don't have a need for the others. Now let's see if I can do the shimmer. Now the struggle is, there's a couple of shimmers in this palette that are all beautiful that I want to kind of use. These are the kind of three main ones I'm tempted by, because I was mostly thinking between these two to be smeared on the purple area, but also that's kind of fun, but I don't know if it would work with this look. I quickly just swatched them on my palm so you can see. Stunning. Well, I think I'm just gonna use this kind of pointed flat brush, grab some of this really dark shade. It looks almost black on camera, but it's actually a really dark purple. I'm gonna use that, just pack in those inner corner areas. I'm gonna also try and make a little bit of a point here. Not by much, just the smallest little bit, just to give a bit extra shade. Loving this side. Actually just going to take the smallest little bit of the purple on the fluffy brush and go over just a little bit above it. Just to add a little bit of depth. Battery died, so I just had to quickly swap that over. Hopefully that's a bit better for you. Sorry, it's going to be a bit rough until I get a proper autofocus lens, which I might just end up swapping to the Sony after this, but I just wanted to experiment. I think I'm just going to go in with a shiny purple shade, and it's just going to get packed all over the lid. Look at that. Stunning. Gently kind of put it on there. One thing that's kind of, I mean, that would work, but it would be nicer if there was a bit more of a darker green than this shimmer in the palette, because I feel like this one is a bit too deep, but I'd like something that's kind of similar to this in green. I feel like this green over here might actually be a bit better for that outer area on my eye. It's a struggle, but I'm only going to be using this palette, so I'll carry on. Who knows, I might end up just using the really light lime green over to the top, and it being fabulous. I'm sure it will be fabulous anyway. So look at that. Doesn't that just look magical already? So I'm just going in with that green shimmer, and I'm just going to pat that up in this outer corner area and over here and wrap it under. Yes. Look at it. So I'm just going to do the same with this side. Now who needs highlighter when you're shadow can beat the highlighter. I'm going to grab another one of these smaller, denser brushes and grab the highlighter pink. And that's just going to be placed in that kind of gap area. If I wasn't doing this kind of video only using Glamorous, I would actually go in with this Periwinkle shade from Nocturnal. Even better under there, but I also want to just tap the smallest little bit of the green just in this little portion there, just so it's its own fun little hit. Got that there. Magical. Now this is where it could become disastrous, so I'm going to try it on this side, which is my less favoured, because I'm loving how this one's looking in general, but I want to kind of deepen the littlest bit, and I want to try and see what would happen if I mix this darker green with a little bit of this darker shade, even though it's purpley, hoping it will still pull more green from the lesser favoured side, just to make sure I don't fuck shit up forever. It's not mad at that. Now I'm conflicted because I like it. I'm like, do I want to risk trying it and it not working out? Okay. I'm gonna do it. Pray to the makeup gods. Pray to them so much. It's okay. A favoured eye is not favoured by the makeup gods. But it's okay. So this eye went from being the favoured to the not so now, which is the way it goes sometimes. It's whatever. Make me sad. Also just pack the shit out of some green shimmer on the spots, see if that will also try and help blend the mistake away. Gonna go in with the green eyeliner from Stargem, just because I can. I will use the darker green and stamp it on, just to experiment with this shade. And because at this point I'm not necessarily the happiest with the look, I'm like, fuck it, let's just play around. And who knows, sometimes you end up loving a look more. Ooh, just look at that. Ooh, that kind of fun. Have I just saved the look? Ooh, ooh, that's kind of sickening. Oh. So kind of like leaving that little peep open, and I might fill that in with some white. I do want to just bring that the littlest bit underneath. So that's my kind of fun that I've done. So now I'm just going to have this be the real fun eye. I'm not going to try and do that with the other eye. This will be a bit more tame, this one will be more fun. Just real quick while I'm here, just put a smidgen of this on the, just in the corner on the other. So quite like it. Oh, look at that. Yes. Oh. Even though it is quite dark on the eye, I don't mind it. It looks fun. Like, look at that. Just look at that. Stunning. I'm just going to cut on some lashes, and I'll be back very happy with how this ended up turning out. Like, even though it looked like shit at first, I think I saved it. I think it looks good at least. I'm happy. This side's whatever, because I just didn't bother wanting to try and even it out because it was struggle bus enough. But I think after all that I did, I'm very happy with this side. Just to give a quick rundown what I went through, or what I put on the eyeballs. Firstly, for in the waterline, I went in with the Made by Mitchell Black Track eyeliner in that outer corner and along in the waterline. Did it on both sides. I just didn't do full-on lashes on this side. Did mascara though. But then for kind of purple blending, I used this shade La La Land of the All Smudge No Budge. And then for the white inner centre portion, I did the white shade. So these three in all together, just for that eye moment. Looking fabulous. I did also actually use a little bit of this black track to actually fill in the eyeliner area in between, so that's now given it a bit more depth. I'm very happy with how that turned out. Mascara, I used Yggdrasil mascara, used on the lower and upper lashes. just to make them look a lot fabulous. But then I did also put on a pair of falsies. I used the Black Swallow Fluff Style one, and I used the Black Swallow Clear Adhesive. Overall, I'm very happy with how this ended up turning out. I have, again, used this palette multiple times, so I already was pretty aware of how the shadows would play with each other and how it would turn out. I feel like the palette does definitely lean in some cases into being a companion palette. So I feel like sometimes with these darker greens in particular with this palette, this shade doesn't really help deepen it in the way that I would want it to. Whereas you would have a little bit more depth that you could add using some of these other shades. Even just the black in this I feel like would work a bit better because it's an actual black rather than purple. And you can see there that this is more purpley rather than black. But I am happy overall with what I was able to achieve on this side with the shadows, and I am happy overall with the shade. I am excited to see what they bring out for the next palette, and that's what's going to be filling up this empty quadrant. So this palette will be so beautiful and shiny and heavy, because this is already quite weighty. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's been a while since I last uploaded anything makeup related, and I have been posting some photos of photography that I've been doing that isn't makeup related. But I do want to do some makeup stuff in the future. Plus I will be also doing a video with the new Glaminatrix shadows when they eventually arrive. But thank you for watching anyways. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Love hearts from Tassie. Bye! Why?